Well, after another brief European adventure, it is time to turn our attention to another domestic season in Wales. We begin with a Sunday afternoon match against a side that are still in Europe. TNS are flying the flag for the nation. They've not secured their group stage status yet, and their fixtures may make it a little harder this year. In more important news though, we've got transfers to introduce. We've had to be patient. We have finally found some big upgrades in a certain position. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 33 of this FM26 Build a Nation story, a Rhyl rebuild with me, Daniel. We are back today to face TNS in a massive game in the Welsh Premier League. We'll try and squeeze the Britain Ferry one in as well if we can too. There's a lot of transfer work to talk about. There's some interesting cup news to talk about, as you can see from the top right of the screen. And we've made some slight tactical tweaks too. So this season, we're going to try and take the club to the next level, or the first step towards the next level. And that is a little bit of a risk, and we'll have to endure some short-term pain. You hear it in punditry a lot, trying to change too much too soon, trying to progress the style of football on the pitch, and maybe that causing you to go backwards initially. So if you're looking forward to seeing all of that, what changes we've made, what players have come in, and how we get on against the champions who again have won their first game despite playing on Thursday night, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. For now though, we are going to go and have a little look at our last couple of matches, which have been a little bit interesting, it must be said, because following our European run and the loss against Bromby, I decided that we were going to make our tactical tweaks. We obviously couldn't play most of our first team against Mould Alex anyway, so we knew it was likely to be a defeat, albeit the manner of it was very bruising. A late consolation after being pummeled for the most part in a 3-1 defeat against their rotated side, it must be said. But a lot of players featuring there who won't be playing too much this season. And Kian Lafondra picked up a knock. He'll only just be back on the bench today. But what we decided to do was be a little bit more aggressive in wide areas. It's somewhere where we've maybe not created as many chances in recent times. Calder's struggled at left back. The wingers have struggled in some games because they're just not getting enough of the ball high and up the pitch. So that's the adjustment we've made. It did look better against Guilsfield with a 2-0 win. Jerome Richards scoring from a Hindley cross and Evans scoring the second as well. But then unfortunately, Hindley has picked up an injury which will keep him out for most of the rest of the month. So there are some difficulties early on as well. We're picking up more injuries. We've got more professional players in on loan this year. Those things are going to be a problem for us in the short term. But despite the fact we're out of the cup, it means we've got a relatively friendly schedule in the league now, with no more than 6 games in any month, plus a couple of cup games against hopefully lower league opposition. We're out of Europe, so we've got a massive fixture advantage. But TNS have still got an opportunity because despite a victory in the second leg, they did go out to Dinamo Minsk and, like us, struggled more at home as well. They won their first league game and now they've got Kairat of Kazakhstan in the final qualifying round with Mould Alex sandwiched in between. So the fixtures haven't been friendly to them from a domestic point of view. But if you go and have a look at Kairat overall, they've got some very good players. Of course, it's a league that can't be loaded in-game, but they've still got players on multiple £1,000s a week who look very good. But then, so have TNS. They've got players on 2, 3, 4 grand a week. They're signing lots. They're improving more. You never know what that could bring. But very quickly, actually, just show you their transfer window. If we go back one more. They've brought in 5 players this year. They had a debutant who set up the winner in Kamani Ryan last weekend, who's on 2 grand a week, looks really good, was playing regularly at lower levels of the game. You can see some of the other players making an impact as well. So they're building a good team again. All of these clubs are signing better than before, and it's the biggest credit I'll give to FM26. The AI managers, recruitment teams, whatever, are definitely signing better than before. So that's what we'll find out against TNS today. Are we able to take advantage of that Thursday, Sunday football for them? They've got a massive game coming up in 4 days, or is now their squad just so strong that they can rest people and get away with it? And will they actually benefit, like Mould Alex did, from us going a little more aggressive for the long term here? Because this season, I still feel we can get second doing any style of football. So I thought, why not make that adjustment now and try and push on? Let's go and have a look at the recruitment team, though, because there are a few changes in terms of the club today. If we have a look at the transfer history, we have now brought in 6 players. One of these was a director of football signing that's an emergency backup, but two of them are the long desired upgrades in defence. We've spent the whole of summer looking for centre halves and left backs. We only have 6 defenders at the club prior to these boys coming in. We've still not resolved one of the positions, so we've still not got a fullback in at the club, but we've got some really good centre halves that should become our new partnership, should allow us to progress our style again as we move forward. And also, we've got one overlap with the first season of our Twitch save at Bedford Town, because the first of the 2 first-team centre-halves coming in is Frankie Edwards, who is a 22-year-old central defender, 6'5", brilliant in the air, determined character, naturally fit, all the things we need with the current Welsh football pyramid. We need good mentoring leads. We need people who are great in the air. I see him almost as a future captain at this point. 3.5-star ability, 50 appearances, including 27 for Torquay in the National League South a couple of years back. He is someone who has got real ability and is a massive upgrade on what we've got. So, unfortunately for Charlie Fisher, that's probably the end of his first team level, because he's got 8 for tackling, 6 for heading. He's not naturally fit. He's not got the best stamina. And this is just a big, big upgrade, no matter how you try and sugarcoat it. 280 quid a week is a slightly higher earner, but I feel it'll be worth it, with more potential to grow into as well, and a good personality. First team football this year could be great for Frankie Edwards, who I think will come straight into the team today. The second one who came in on the same day is Harrison Minturn, who is a little bit further behind because he's just coming back from injury. But here's a 24-year-old central defender, again 3.5-star ability, but this time we've got a centre-half who's a little bit better on the ball. He's not quite as quick, and that might be something we have to address, and natural fitness may be an issue, but he's got 70 career games under his belt, including about 40 for Swindon in League 2, which is a higher level than any we've had before. And in fact, he's got 8 there. He's got 50 EFL appearances under his belt. It's a huge signing by our standards. Again, good determination, a little bit more experience. And I think eventually, with playing out from the back, becoming a bit more of a possession-based side in the future, Minturn is going to be that player who, alongside Edwards, can help take us to the next level. And then if Farke and Fisher are willing to stay and be our backup centre-halves, that is 4 very good players in that position. And that's the depth we're starting to build everywhere. Now, I know this one's not really needed, but the director of football suggested it, and on an amateur deal with no output, I didn't really see the harm in doing it. Scott Wilson, 28-year-old centre-half who can also cover left-back, an area we are still a bit weaker at the minute. He is someone at 3-star ability who probably would have come in and competed, to be honest. What I'm planning to do now, looking at this, because he's not eligible for the under-19s anymore, is maybe loan out Bissix and keep Wilson as our backup left-back for now, because I just feel that gives him the chance to get a season of football and maybe help another side in the nation, or go to the English lower leagues as well. But very good player, happy to have him here. 300 career appearances, loads in the north for Chorley, has played again in EFL for Barrow before, albeit briefly. Just a good experienced player. So we've had to wait a while, but we've got what we needed eventually. It kind of gives us a couple of months with Calder as well to try and get him to the next level with that new formation, with the new tactical setup and role for him. I've had to look at a left back that I'd like to bring in, but financially it's just not affordable at the minute. With Corey Hollett, Edwards and Minturn in, we are now massively improving our first team for the future. So I'm getting excited. Not going to get immediate results from it, and there's going to be some frustrating days, as the Mould Alex one was. But I'm really, really optimistic for the future now with the players that we're bringing in. On the other side of it, Jack Parry has gone out on loan to Grays Athletic, nowhere near the first team now, so it made sense. Unfortunately, those originals are just starting to fall away now, despite the heroics in Europe a couple of episodes ago with the likes of Bolton and Lafondra. So the other option there is probably going to be Bissix to go out on loan, just to see if anyone's interested in taking him on, maybe giving him the opportunity to play first team football. So let's just try that and see if we get anything back as the season goes on. If he'd still been an under-19 option on the bench, we would have kept him here, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So let's offer him and see what happens. For now, though, before we go and get into this game, let's have a little talk about the tactical setup. We mentioned we're trying to progress and become a little bit more aggressive, and it's a very gradual process. Those who know me, those who have watched my recent videos will know I don't like to make 100 tactical changes at once. So we've not changed anything on the team front yet. and we're not going to change anything on the mentality front. That will all be gradual, and the same as when Minturn eventually works in and we change the centre-half style. That will all be gradual stuff. For now, it's about bedding players in and trying to adjust the tactical style slightly. But with a new winger coming in, with now a new fullback coming in, felt like the right time to do it. So in possession, nothing has really changed other than Calder is playing a little bit wider this season. But that change I made before Europe, that's been going the whole of pre-season. Before, it was an inside fullback, which was sort of suited to Muscat and Bissix prior, but not really Calder last season. And he did suffer a little bit for it. But it just means we're playing with a bit more width. Yes, exposing the two centre-halves and holding midfielder more, but allows us to be a bit more aggressive. He's still not going as much as Stanley on the other side, but is now at least backing up the winger. The other changes, though, have come more recently, which are out of possession, and it's these two wingers who previously were dropping into here and just sitting as wide midfielders, supporting the fullbacks sitting in front of them. Well, now we're going to try and expose them a bit more, at the expense of being a bit more aggressive on the counter, because Daly and Richards without possession will stay as wingers, whether it's Lafondra, whether it's Hindley, whoever comes in. We're going to play them a little bit higher up the pitch now. We're going to try and get ourselves into a more aggressive attacking position, and that gives more support to Evans and Creaney, and just sort of reflects the fact that we've got a more attacking team now. And it does mean that later down the line, we probably will push Dakin on a little bit as well, that defensive midfielder up to maybe a pressing defensive mid. We'll wait until we know whether Brennan's going to stay. And once Hollett's obviously settled in and bedded into the team, now he's back to fitness too. And then when we've got the ball playing defender on that side, it will all sort of work out then. At the moment, of course, we are having to be a little bit more careful because we've still got players injured. We've not had new centre-halves in until this very game. And of course, we're still adapting new players to new roles. So we're not going to go mad. We've not been able to get a goalkeeper. So we've not got the best player between the sticks, albeit Minter has generally been a safe pair of hands for us and is still solid, despite declining slightly physically now. But there is a suggestion that we're not quite there yet. So we're going to be doing it in increments. We're going to be doing it in installments. But we are gradually looking to becoming a more aggressive, a more dominant, a more possession-based team. So this year it's more about getting us up the pitch slightly, getting more players supporting attacks, having more players gambling on the counter. And then next season, we can try and get a bit more possession-based or push the mentality up slightly. And then the next one the year after. So it's going to be a long process, but I just thought I'd show you the thought process behind it and the slight adjustments we've made for now. Now, while for the most part, it's probably going to help us in those games where we're struggling to get over the line in the Welsh Premier League, the one or two games it may harm us are against Mould Alex, as we saw in the Cup, albeit with a very weakened team. And in a game like this, against TNS, the champions, who are a professional side with quality players everywhere. We've been fortunate again that we are facing them on a Sunday afternoon after their Thursday adventures. But today, we have taken a couple of, I would say, pretty big gambles. On the left-hand side of midfield, we've got no choice. Unfortunately, Hindley picked up the injury. Lafondra is just back from his own and isn't really fit enough to be on the bench, but will have to be. Noah Daly is in on the left-hand side. He's actually the third choice in that position now. In centre midfield, I've stuck with Dakin and Brennan, but Hollett did look good off the bench last time. He's building with 45 more minutes of action. Again, because Hindley's out now, we've only got a few under-19s in the squad, so need to keep him on the bench for that reason too. And then at centre-half is where I've gone mad, because Fisher, due to the lack of defenders we had, played in that cup game against Mould Alex. He then set up a goal last weekend in the league, but I just wanted to give him a game off. And in the long term, look, he's not as good as Frankie Edwards. I like him. He's been brilliant, and he will still play a lot of games this year, don't get me wrong. But he's not Frankie Edwards, is he, by comparison? So Edwards comes in immediately for his debut alongside Farke. Minturn is a bit further behind because he's been out injured, doesn't have the natural left-sided balance, but he's there as the sub option if Edwards has a disaster or if we need to change one of the defenders too. That means our 11 in full for today. We've got a Dan Creaney who's starting the season slowly again. He's starting to struggle a bit. We've got Minter in goal. We've got Stanley and Calder the fullbacks with Farke alongside Edwards as centre-half. Brennan and Dake in the midfield too. I'd imagine it will eventually become Hollett and Brennan this season, with Richards, Evans and Daly the attacking midfield three. Dan Creaney, as we mentioned up front. Interestingly, no more offers for Brennan or Richards after we rejected those initial ones, and none from bigger clubs either. So be interesting to see if that changes throughout the season, especially with Brennan being out of contract in 8, 9, 10 months time now. Could be a very interesting one. Let's go and get through to the big game against TNS. Looking at the time, it might be the only one we get in today, but can we make it a thriller? Will the new boys shine? And will the ones that have to come in prove that our squad depth is improving? Let's go and find out the answer. Well, as expected, quite a few changes for this TNS side, but they're bringing in people like Ryan, who they've just signed, Terence Miles, who they paid for last year, Tanza as well, first choice keepers back in. I mean, there are some good changes coming into this team. They've still got Brett, Yagani, Ryan. Probably our whole wage budget is in that front four. They've got the skipper. They've got quality players everywhere. And even on the bench is people who were first choice a year or two ago. Their third choice goalkeeper is Oscar Abbottson, who we tried to sign as our first choice in the summer. Just gives you a bit of an indicator as to how well they're doing. And people like Dylan Reid, who they signed from playing regularly at Bromley in League 2, is sitting on the bench for them. It's a very good position for them to be in. Let's go and address the team and see how we do. I'm really interested to see where we are here, because normally, early in the season, TNS struggle a bit, having had fixtures in Europe and being playing on Thursday night, the extra scheduling, but they've got such a good squad now that you just sort of feel they're going to roll people over. They seem to find a way. They're defensively more solid than ever. Will they be so again in the first half here? Let's go and get into it. Regulars will be pleased to know I've given squad numbers to the two new centre-halves. They're number 6 and 5 respectively, as Dakin plays from the back to Calder. Looks like we're going to see more than the 10 seconds here. Noah Daly going straight down the left and deflects it for a corner. Positive start for Rhyl 1879. We'll have to keep an eye on the attendances here too. Saw TNS bought in 300 grand of gate receipts against Copenhagen a few weeks back. As Evans puts the corner to the back post. Up goes Creaney. Oh, what a start. I said he'd had a slow start to the season. Well, no one saw that coming. 1 minute gone. TNS a goal down to Rhyl, and I know we lost to them heavily after the split the last 2 years, but generally we've got a very good record against them, and this is the main reason why. Evans in for Creaney, the two experienced attackers, and a set piece has ruled again. We're doing an Arsenal, we're nicking it 1-0, and we're doing it via a set piece. Attendance today, 576. It is creeping up. We sold one extra season ticket this year, and we've given them a goal to reward them early on. Let's see if we can maintain it now. With 10 gone, it's 1-0, but TNS are starting to become dominant as Tanza at left back. Experienced player finds Yagane. Good ball in behind to the skipper. Corness, 2 in the middle. Block back to Yagane, in again. Calder heads away. Daly flicks on. Evans down for Creaney. Can he hold it up? He can't. It's nicked by Corness. Hopefully that'll get Creaney's season going as Brett goes from distance. Not far over the bar. We survive it. We're still 1-0 up with that early header from the corner. But it's not been comfortable again, has it? TNS dominating the ball. Well, 15 on the clock here as TNS head away one of our crosses into the box. Yagane able to start a break with Corness, and Brett will chase it out wide. But look at that from Frankie Edwards. What a signing already. Stanley to Richards and Evans. I do feel confident once that defence gets fit that they're going to be formidable. As Richards goes back to Stanley. Great ball in. Noah Daly's up, and it's a brilliant save. It is the benefit of Noah Daly being in a team over the other wingers. He's 6'3", he can get up at the back post. And it looks like a complete clash of styles. I feel almost bad now. I've spent the first half of the episode talking about becoming a more possession-based and dominant team in the future. TNS are dominating the ball here, and we're just pummeling high balls into the box and scoring from set pieces and headers. It's the complete antithesis of what I've spent the whole afternoon saying so far. But either way, we're 1-0 up. We're doing a good job. Pennybont coming back to form this season too. And we're 10 to the break. TNS struggling to get into it. This is the least attempts on goal I think they've ever had against us. And as we approach half-time, we're into one added minute, and surely the whistle will go before anything here, or will it? Because Daly's got in down the left. There's 4 in the middle. Be a great time to score. It's a great interception late on. Stanley wins it back. 10 seconds to go. Deflects to Richards, who puts it over the bar. Would have been a great time to go 2 up. But in truth, we've not done enough to get 2 goals in this game. It's been a really good display. Solid, if anything. We've not dominated, albeit we're now level on the possession as well. But there's no doubt we've had the best chances. TNS struggling after Thursday night football. And unfortunately, that hasn't changed. There's 5 minutes gone in the second half. TNS offering very little. But we know the quality they've got on the bench. So I'm not going to count my chickens yet. We'll think about changes in 5 or 10 minutes. But at the moment, no real weaknesses in the performance. As Purcell picks the ball up to Tanza on the left. TNS trying to get back into it here. But Corness has been robbed. And the skipper, he looked tired there. He was dallying on it. As Brennan gives it back to Farkey and into Dakin. Support down the left from Noah Daly. You can see Calder getting a bit more up in support, but Daly doesn't need him. Runs to the byline. That is sensational. Noah Daly goes all the way. It is 2-0 to Rhyl, and it's been deserved on this occasion. Yes, TNS played against the Belarusian side away from home on Thursday night, but we are doing so well. And this is the first time I really feel we've deserved to win a game against them. We've been the better side. Maybe that's a signal of progress. Edwards looking great on his debut too. I'm not going to bring too many on too soon, but so far I am thoroughly pleased with his performance. Well, TNS have started making substitutions, and with 20 minutes to go, we'll do the same in a minute. Brennan and Richards are the two I'm looking at. Creaney's got a booking as well. Might have to be careful with him, as Richards picks it up on the right-hand side. Beats his man. He's flying. Doesn't want to come off, does he? Finds Dakin. Creaney, Dakin, Daly, Brennan. Good ball to Stanley, who's in one-on-one. Hits the post. It could have been 3. Not sure what the keeper's doing, but it's cleared downfield. And Farke can start another attack. Calder on the left further forward. He's playing so much better individually. He gives it to Daly, who loses it. But now we will make some changes. It's actually one of those nice situations now where there's not many contenders to come off. So we're going to take Richards off for Lafondra, who will get 20 minutes, with Daly switching to the right. I'm going to take Brennan off for Hollett, who we're trying to build the fitness of. And thankfully, he's very good in both roles. But you can see he's a huge upgrade on what we've got. Defensively, I don't really want to mess with the back four yet. I might save a sub to bring Minturn on very late. Creaney's on a yellow again. Could I get Hamza Ahmed on for a few minutes? I'm not going to worry about that just yet. We're going to leave it at 2. We're not going to do too much. I always try to tell myself it doesn't matter if you don't make the 5 subs. But I'm always desperate to give people appearances. And in this level, we need to rest people a lot. And I've been punished for not doing it this time because we get an injury to Kieran Evans. He'll be replaced by O'Neill. Couldn't just be the perfect day, could it? Right back Stanley struggling, so we'll get Baldwin on. And then I'll save the last sub for either Minturn or Hamza Ahmed. I mean, Minturn has literally just got fit again, so it doesn't matter if we can't bring him on in this one. He'll get plenty of appearances in the future. I think we're going to do Creaney for Ahmed if TNS don't score here. Wilson gets down the right-hand side to the byline. Good cross to the back post. Brett's up, and he does score. It's not over yet, folks. We're not making a 5th change. I'm a little bit concerned. It's Baldwin beaten at the back stick. He's not as big as Stanley. Stanley had to come off with fatigue. It's one of those things. We'll get towards the 90th minute. Noah Daly's really struggling as well. But what can we do with the sub? I think it's going to have to be Creaney, isn't it? Creaney's going to be replaced by Hamza Ahmed. And we're just going to see out the last couple of minutes. 5 added on. Time for the time wasting, folks. Let's go and get it on. Time wasting more often, please. Let's not worry about being pretty now. There's 3 minutes remaining. Can we hold on for another precious win? This time we have deserved it against TNS, and we get it. We're thankfully playing them after these Thursday nights early in the season, so it won't be an invincible year for TNS. But again, plenty of suggestion that they're going to have a very good year. And once the European stuff's over, they'll catch us up. So the quicker we can get an advantage, the better it is for the football club. Well done, lads. You've played very well. We've got a real good spirit in there, and Frankie Edwards played brilliantly. Noah Daly has come in and shown the depth we've built in this squad. And to get some of those players coming off the bench as well. Great to see Corey Hollett starting to feature. Minturn will do soon as well. It's a really good day for the club overall, but could all be marred by one injury, couldn't it? Let's be honest, if this Kieran Evans one is a bad knock, which the fact we've been asked about it worries me, we could be in a spot of bother. We've had offers for Bissix. Now, it may be better to send him to England, but I'm going to actually send him to Gresford because I want to help the nation out. So we're going to accept that one and reject the Hemel one. They did say regular starter, which is the main thing. How bad is this injury? 9 to 11 days. Oh, that's fine. I thought it was going to be far worse than that. So he should only miss one match because during August, it's only a game a week till the end. So yeah, he should just miss Britain Ferry. Mikey O'Neill will get a run out. And then he'll be back for the Barry Town game, which would be fantastic. We are top of the league. Frankie Edwards was brilliant. But let's be honest, once TNS have sorted out their European qualifying, they'll find a way to compete, don't you worry. But before we go back to the fixture schedule and see when we're going to be back, I thought I'd finish off by showing you something we've put off for a couple of episodes, which is the staffing, because we lost our fitness coach at the end of last year who wanted to go to a more prestigious club. We have brought in a couple of replacements and increased the teams where possible. So Dan Asquith, who I think we were linked with again at Bedford Town in the Twitch save. Maybe that's the level we're getting to now. He comes in as an average physio who adds a third one to the club with the head physio and the one we already had. On the scouting front, we've kept Demancey Kawanda. Graham Drury is improving and hopefully helping us out more. I am in the lookout for a new director of football, and probably the same on the head of youth development front moving forward now. If we go and have a look at the coaches though, we have added 2 people. Joshua Jones is essentially the replacement for Anne, who was our previous fitness coach. He's good rather than very good for the technical ability, but on the mental side, he's slightly better. So no real change for us overall there. Bit younger, room to grow into and a longer contract. And then the other coach to come in is Rhys Williams, who at 35 is pretty good. He's driven, he's got a great determination, and he's competent at set pieces, something we had nothing with before, and then attacking and defending too. So really decent additions. We're starting to notice a better quality of staff through the staffing adverts that we're putting out. So really impressed that we're starting to get a bigger team and a better team. But let's go and focus on the pitch again and when we're next going to return, because hopefully TNS will make the Conference League groups, open up the league and keep bringing money into Welsh football. That coefficient is essential. I mean, I think I can see the 2 games here. The end of September, 2 games in 3 days. Mould Alexandra, who always give us a tough time, finished 3rd last year, and Connors Key, who will hopefully aim to be a bit more resurgent this year. At the moment, they're 12th. They've started poorly, but did win their last game after a slow start. So we'll keep an eye on them. But that is definitely the episode. Mould Alex and Connors Key, 2 sides that have finished 3rd the last 2 seasons. We're going to come back and face those 2 in a doubleheader next time out. But a slightly different episode to normal. Just the one big game, which we did nick the victory against TNS. A perfect start to the season after going out of the League Cup. Will that prove to be a blessing in disguise again? I'm sure we'll have time to win it in the future. Let us know if you think TNS make the group stages again. Can they beat Kairat and keep flying the flag? Will we be able to compete for the title if they do? And what do you think of our new signings? More than expected coming into today's episode. Will they take us to the next level? Give us your thoughts on all of that. If you did enjoy it, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Do you think my tactical plan is working? Or do you think I should have taken a bit more time? Or maybe done a bit more at once? Give us your thoughts on that too. If you want to stay up to date and see how it works this season, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. New episodes from this one every weekday at 4:30. And in addition to that, an exciting weekend coming too. The first season review, our first full weekly episode from our new Burton Albion Academy Challenge. You can find the introduction in the eye above. The 2 parts of our Season 1 review will be out over the next 2 Sundays. And the Cricket 26 manager career continues this Saturday morning, to keep your eyes peeled for that as well. Follow us over on Twitch for regular live streams. Come and get involved with the rest of this season. It's going to be a fun one in Wales. I like where the squad is going, but TNS at the moment, despite beating them today, just too strong overall. We'll be back next time to see if we can keep pace with them and see how our tactical changes are bedding in at Rhyl 1879.